Hello everyone, my name is Flavian Charlon and I'm the CEO and founder of Coinprism. So Coinprism is a wallet for colored coins and it was launched in May 2014. It's web-based and we also have an Android native application which you can use as a colored coin wallet. You can download it from the Google Play Store. So let's talk about colored coins. The concept behind colored coins is quite simple. Basically, you take a Bitcoin, or rather a very small amount of Bitcoin, and you tag it with some additional value that's representing an asset. Then that gives you a way to track that asset through the blockchain by tracking the underlying Bitcoin. So you can store and transfer any asset on the Bitcoin blockchain using that system. So there are many applications to that. One application that's very popular at the moment is IPOs. So let's say I'm a business and I'm looking to raise some money. What I can do is create 1,000,000 colored coins and sell every colored coin for $1. So that gives me a way to raise $1,000,000. Then everybody who bought that colored coin is now an investor in the company and they have a colored coin to represent that investment. And they can then resell that colored coin very easily the same way they would do a Bitcoin transaction. So there are interesting applications from that. So for example, you could send dividends to everybody who owns the colored coin. So you would send an amount of Bitcoin proportional to the number of colored coins that every address owns. You could also organize a vote by sending votes or vote coins to every address that owns that colored coin. There are other use cases for colored coin. Another interesting use case is the concept of colored coins backed by precious metals. So what a bullion bank could do is whenever a user buys some gold, instead of sending them the physical gold, they could create a colored coin to represent that ounce of gold and give it to the customer. Then the customer can sell it on the secondary market, or they can use it for payments. And eventually, someone can come back to the bullion bank company with a colored coin and redeem it for the physical ounce of gold whenever they want to. This can be extended to fiat currency, so you can have a colored coin that represents dollars or euros. Another use case that's quite interesting is the concept of loyalty points. So let's say tomorrow Starbucks starts accepting Bitcoin as a payment. Whenever you pay in Bitcoin, the merchant knows which address the Bitcoins came from. So what Starbucks can do is send you back to the same address a number of colored coins representing loyalty points. So those loyalty points could represent, let's say, $1 worth of coffee at Starbucks. So whenever you accumulate a few dollars, you can go and buy a coffee or get a coffee for free by spending those loyalty points. But if you don't drink coffee, you also have the option to resell the loyalty points to someone who drinks more coffee than you do. So it's also another very interesting use case here. So the Open Assets Protocol is the protocol that we use to deal with colored coin. So colored coin is a broad concept and Open Asset is the implementation of that concept. So on top of Open Asset, there's a number of business models that can exist, and the first one would be a wallet. So Coinprism is a wallet. So this is the first piece of important infrastructure that needs to exist, because the wallet is how the users interact with colored coins. So that lets them send and receive the colored coins. The second piece of infrastructure that's important are exchanges. So exchanges would be services or websites where people can go and sell or buy the colored coins. Gateways. Gateways would be those companies who create a colored coin and back it with something. So that could be Starbucks or a bullion bank in my previous examples. And finally, merchants. Merchants could leverage colored coins by accepting payments in colored coins. So let's say instead of accepting payments in Bitcoin, they could accept payments in euro or dollar backed colored coins, and that means that they're not exposed to the volatility anymore. And yet they still have all the benefits of accepting Bitcoin payments, which are no chargebacks, and very small fees. So it's also very interesting for merchants. So let's talk about the benefits of open assets and cornered coins in general. First of all, you can send any asset across the world and for a very small amount of fees. So the fees are the fees that you would pay for a normal Bitcoin transaction. That's about 4 cents of a dollar. And they are optional, so if you don't even want to pay a fee, you can just create a transaction without any fee. And the transaction might take longer to confirm, but it will still confirm eventually. So that means that you can send any asset for just a few cents to Australia if you want, and this is only going to take 10 minutes. If you compare to the existing system, that would take days and days, and you would pay a lot more fees than that. Everything is transparent because everything is based on the blockchain. So if I'm a company creating colored coins that are supposedly backed by gold, everybody can know how many of those colored coins I have created by just examining the blockchain, and so they can check that I'm not doing fractional reserve banking. Then everything is anonymous, obviously, because it's using Bitcoin, so everything is based on addresses, which are to some degree anonymous. It doesn't use any intermediary currency, so everything is paid using Bitcoin. The fees are paid using Bitcoin, basically, and there's no need to buy any other currency. So this is a strong advantage because if you have to buy another currency, you're exposed to the volatility because, as you know, Bitcoin is the most liquid cryptocurrency today. So all the systems that require you to buy another currency, they basically expose you to the low liquidity and therefore high volatility of that currency. So that can be a concern. And then finally, because it's using the Bitcoin blockchain itself, it's not another blockchain, it's the main blockchain. That means that it's secured by all the mining that goes onto the Bitcoin blockchain. And that means it's the most secure blockchain that exists today, so it means it's very secure. So let's talk about Coinprism. So Coinprism is as a wallet, so it lets you store, receive, and send Bitcoin as you would do on any other wallet. But it lets you also store, receive, and send colored coins. And you can also create your own colored coin. So it takes about 5 minutes and you can issue your own colored coin. And finally, there's a block explorer. So you can look at any transaction in the blockchain, and if there was an asset transferred in that transaction, you will be able to see it through that block explorer. So let's have a look at Coinprism now. Let's say I want to start a business. I want to open a sandwich shop. However, I don't have the capital to do it. So I want to use colored coins to raise some money so I can open my sandwich shop. So first of all, I need to sign up on Coinprism. After I have signed up, I see the wallet overview. So on the right, I can see an address that I can use for receiving assets, as well as another address that I can use for receiving Bitcoins. On the left, I can see my balance in Bitcoin, and I have already funded this account with 0.007 Bitcoin. So now what I need to do is create a new asset. So I'm going to go here and click New Color, and now I need to type the name of my asset. So Sandwich Factory Shares, and then I need to select the address type. So I can either select a normal online address or a cold storage address. If it's a cold storage address, I will be able to use it along with Armory to store my colored coins offline. After this is done, I see a second page, and here I can define some information about my asset. So I need to set a short name, full name, the name of the issuer, which is the company itself, and then I can upload a couple of images, logo for my company, and that will appear on every wallet that received that colored coin. And then I can set a description. And finally, I can select a divisibility, but this is a share, so I don't want it to be divisible, and an asset type, so this is a stock in that case. So all this metadata is actually a lot of data. This is a few kilobytes, so you cannot store that on the blockchain. So this is actually normally stored on the website of the issuer. So here the issuer is the Sandwich Factory, which is not a real company. And by default, we let you store it on our own servers, on the Coinprism servers. However, we definitely recommend that the issuers store their metadata on their own servers so that they are not relying on Coinprism at all. And then on the blockchain, we embed a link to that metadata file. So the blockchain only has a short link, and the link points to the file that contains all the relevant information. So once I have done that, I am now almost ready to issue the colored coins. However, first I need to fund this new address. So I'm going to send a small amount of Bitcoin, let's say 1 millibit. And this millibit is used so that I can color it as well as paying the fees, and that will be used for issuing the colored coins. So here I can see a screen that shows me a summary of the transaction. So it shows me how much Bitcoin I'm sending and to which address. And then I have to type my password. So the reason why I need to type my password is because the private keys are encrypted with the password, and the private keys never leave the browser. So that means that the server never handles the private keys in clear, and that means that only the user can access the private keys. So this is very secure, but at the same time it means that if you lose your password, then you lose access to your assets and your colored coins and your bitcoins. So now that I have done that, I can go and issue the colored coins. So I will go here and select the amount I want to issue. So 200,000 shares, and then just press issue coin. Again, I can see a summary of the transaction. I am creating 200,000 shares, as I can see here. And again, I need to type my password to sign the transaction. And the signing is done on the browser. Once this is done, the transaction has been sent to the Bitcoin network, and I can see here that my balance has updated with 200,000 shares of the Sandwich Factory. And if I click here, I can see a small summary of the asset, and I can click View Profile to see a full profile of the asset with the information I provided. So once this is done, I am now ready to sell my shares. So I have a few ways to do that. The first way to do that is completely manual. So let's say people who want to purchase my shares would send me Bitcoin or would send me money directly, and I would send the colored coins directly to their Bitcoin address here. And but this is manual, so for every sale I need to do it once. So there is a more automated way to do it using what's called the crowd sale feature, which is also sometimes called a vending machine. And the way it works is that I have an address. People would send Bitcoin to that address, and using that feature here, I would just define a price for the asset, and then that would send automatically the appropriate amount of colored coin back to the incoming addresses. So this is more automated. However, an even more powerful way to do it is to use an exchange like Master Exchange. So here I can actually go and create a market for my Sandwich shares, and people will be able to place buy orders, and I would basically place a sell order for 200,000 shares for $1 each on the market, and people will be able to match that order if they want to buy some of the shares. So that's basically how you run a crowd sale using colored coins. And to wrap up, if you're a developer, you can check out the specification of the Open Assets protocol. It's on openassets.org. You can, if you're not a developer, you can try Coinprism, coinprism.com. That's the sign up takes 1 minute. And finally, if you have an Android phone, you can search Coinprism on the Google Play Store and download the Colored Coin wallet. Thank you.